here. I know you're gonna dig this.
They'll throw to second for one, and now they got the man trapped at third and tag him out.
And 2nd and 2, handoff goes to McCaffrey up the middle, finds a little room, lot more room, and he's off to the races.
Welcome to the In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network. You're listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show with your host, Kate Dinks from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with the large heart, and co-host Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida. Also co-hosting Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. These are your hosts, bringing you the ultimate in sports news for the ultimate sports fan. Be sure to download the Try99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Now sit back and prepare to get into another episode of the Just Us Sports Talk Show.
What's up, everybody? Happy June. Happy June. We're halfway through the month of June already. June is June the 15th, 2026. Friday is Juneteenth Day. I just found out something, guys. I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but the colors for Juneteenth Day is red, white, and blue. I just learned some history just watching some stuff on Facebook. I didn't know that. They have a flag that's red, white, and blue with a star in the middle. I gotta read up more on it, but it represents the last time the at the end of where the last African Americans realized they were free. But it was in Texas, so they have a flag for that now. So Juneteenth ain't really red, ain't really black, red, and green. It's a different color. I didn't know that. But welcome to the show. If you want to call in, number is 512-543-4662. Hope to hear from you. If you call in, make sure you bring a friend. Also, I want to give out a couple of shout outs. Co-worker of mine, Tierra McQuay, her father passed away over the weekend. Want to let her know that we're praying for her. Keep her and the family in prayer. Also, I have one of the teachers that has some health issues that won't be back next year. Keep her in prayer as well. And just keep praying for people, man. It's life is short, it's fast. It goes by fast before you know it. You're 61 years old, or in Curry, you might be 65, 67, I think. I don't know how old Curry is, but I just put it out there. He looks young for his age anyway. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started on MLB standings 2026. Getting close to the All-Star break. And there's some players might not make it. I don't know why, but they playing some good baseball. So right now in the American League, Yankees are up in front, 43-27, 19-12 at home, 24-15 on the road, 1-2 in the road at 7-3 in the last 10. Tampa Bay Rays are 41-27, one game out of first place, 24-9 at home, 17-18 on the road, 1-1 game to five last 10. You got Toronto or Orioles and the Red Sox coming in the rear. Oh, shucky ducky. Something came on. Okay, I was looking at something. Central Division, the Chicago White Sox are 38-32. 24-12 at home, 14-20 on the road, plus 14, 1-1, and they're 6-4 in the last. And they took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. That was a good series. But I think the Dodgers, they gave a lot of that away with the pitching. But hopefully that'll get addressed. Cleveland Guardians are 39-33, tied for first place, 19-17 at home, 20-16 on the road, -3. Won 2 games at 4-6 in the last 10. You got the Minnesota Twins, Detroit Tigers, Kansas City Royals. Seattle Mariners are still on top, ladies and gentlemen. They're not on a roller coaster ride, but they're not far from not being from first to third. Right there, right now they're 37-36, 19-16 at home, 18-20 on the road. A run differential plus 20, lost 2 in a row. They're 4-6 in the last 10. The Athletics are 35-36. Texas Rangers 35-36. Right there, they're right there with Seattle. Seattle got to keep on winning. They got to take care of their home. They got to take care of home because home is where you defend. Home is where you stay happy at, and they're not really good at home, which is kind of weird because you would think that, they got the 12th man in football, but maybe they got the 11th man and 10th man in baseball or something like that up in Seattle. I don't know. But anyway, you got the Astros and the Los Angeles Angels who are sticking where they sticking at in the back. The East, you got the Atlanta Braves who are 46-25 with the best record in the MLB right now, 22-11 at home, 24-14 on the road. They have a run differential of 107, lost one game, 5 final last 10. Philadelphia Phillies are 38-33, 8 games out of first place, 19-17 at home, 19-16 on the road, minus 23, lost one, 6-4 in the last 10. You got the Nationals, Marlins, and the Mets. Mets look like they, I don't know if they're going to fire the manager or not, but 32-39, and they got the third highest salary cap going on, if I'm not mistaken. They need to do something, get something right. Get that shit right. Middle and Central Division, you got the Milwaukee Brewers of 43-26. 23-14 at home, 20-12 on the road, a plus 112 run differential, 1-1 game, 64 on the last 10. You got the St. Louis Cardinals, who's steady, they're steady, 38-31, 5 games out of first place, 19-16 at home, 19-15 on the road, lost one game, 7-3 in the last 10. Then you got the Cubs, who spent a lot of money, Pirates, and the Reds. But that division is really good. I'm telling you right now. I watched the Dodgers play Pittsburgh. I watched them play the Brewers. So they are definitely that division that you probably gonna have to definitely take a look at and watch real closely. I mean, like to be honest with you, Cincinnati's only 10.5 games out of first place. Somebody lose 4 or 5 in a row, then they win 4 or 5 in a row. Now they 5 games out of first place. So that's gonna be one division you definitely gonna take a look at. Out west, you got the Los Angeles Dodgers 45-27, 22-12 at home, 23-15 on the road, 141 run differential, lost 1, 5 in the last 10. The Padres are 37-33, 7 games out of first place, 19-19 at home, 18-14 on the road, a minus 10 run differential, 2 games in a row, 5 in the last 10. So the hottest team right now, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, the hottest team right now is the Miami Marlins, who are 36-36. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games. So there you go. Like I said, that division is going to be really, 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 not the division, but the Central is going to be a division that you definitely going to watch in the National League. And you're also going to want to watch that the division in the West as well, because Los Angeles is only 7.5 games out of first place. That is going to be something to watch. Boston is probably much out of it, but they're still playing good baseball. Giants and the Rockies are out of it. They're 16-18 games out of first place, in last place, next to last. But I want to ask you guys a question, man. What is going on in San Francisco that this team has went from sugar to Shiola in less than 10 years? I mean, there was a while they was fighting for a World Series. They was in the playoffs. What's going on out there? What do you guys think is wrong? Because again, they was trying to get some free agents to come out there, and they wouldn't go. And I'm trying to figure out what is going on in San Francisco, that nobody wants to go out there and play no more. That's not a destination for anybody that's a free agent to go out there. The park is home run friendly, right? So why does nobody want to go to San Francisco? Curry, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. You can't stay on top forever. So teams tend to do that unless you just one of those teams that's going to, disregard the bank book and just go after every player that you want. Teams going to do that. You don't see the same teams at the top every year. Every year, all the time. Like I said, unless you somebody like the Yankees and Dodgers who disregard the checkbook and go after the players. So it's a revolving door with it, and that's what baseball wants. That's why I think the salary cap is going to be very effective if they put it in there.
But you know what though, San Francisco was looking to spend money. If you think about it, when Soto was out there, they was going to make him the highest paid player, but he chose not to go there, which is crazy. I'm like, what's going on? Because he's going to go wherever the money is. But there's something about San Francisco, and I guess I gotta look more into this. Let me just write note to self: San Fran. What's up with San Fran? What's up with San Fran? What's up with those dudes? Dana, your thoughts on San Fran? You have any idea why nobody wants to go out there and play?
Yeah, nobody can compete with the Dodgers.
Well, I mean, I don't think, but I don't think it's the Dodgers though. I think that, like I said, Soto, they was going to pay. They wanted to pay Soto a lump sum of money, and I think it was a pitcher that they wanted to come out there, but they haven't been able to get any free agents to come there. You know, it's something's going on out there. Something going on out there. So Curry, let's talk about the Braves a little bit, man. They still holding pat with that 46-25 best record in the major leagues right now. They're 2 games up on, 2 games down on the loss column with the Yankees, and they're 4 games up on the win column with the Yankees. And the Yankees are not playing without Aaron Judge, and they have been playing great baseball. What do you see in the Braves? Other than health, what else are you seeing from them right now that's making it consistent with them winning games?
Well, like I said, they've been getting some decent hitting and some decent pitching, which has kept them in most of the games. And as you know, in the first part of the season, they was winning all their series, and they've been doing fairly good at that as of late. They lost 2 out of 3 this past weekend to the Mets. But as good as the Braves are playing right now, I still have some concerns about them because I think they need some more pitching. I don't think that the pitching that they have is going to be enough to get them where they need to be. So, but I think they're aggressively trying to pick up some pitching.
Mm-hmm.
And they also need some another corner outfielder because Acuna, he can't seem to stay healthy. He's on the 10-day list right now. And it seems like as soon as he gets back off the list, it's not long before he gets back on there. So they need another outfielder with a big bat if they can get that. But a couple of pitchers I know they've been talking about is Reed Detmers from the Angels and Joe Ryan of the Twins and Freddie Peralta from the I think he plays for the Brewers.
Okay.
So they are desperately trying to make some trade before the deadline. So hopefully they'll get something done because right now the way it stands, I just don't think they got enough to get them to where they need to be unless they do make some good moves.
Okay, Dana, your thoughts on your Braves?
Oh man, this too shall pass. We'll see you in the World Series.
Okay. Also, Mo couldn't make it tonight because Mo said he's under the weather. So hopefully Mo feels better. It gets better. Rich is still working at part-time, I think. That's why he hasn't been on. And we'll probably get Lou in a little bit. As far as the Dodgers are concerned, they have some issue with the pitching. They've given up in the series against the White Sox. I think they was leading in every game, and home runs was the killer. That was the killer for them. So I know they're looking at some more pitching. They're looking at the kid from Detroit, I think, coming there, and they got some young prospects that they're gonna give up to get him as well. So that's it for baseball, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to some more news. NBA Finals, ladies and gentlemen. NBA Finals. Let me ask you guys a question. What was the biggest disappointment in Spurs giving up a 29-point lead or the Falcons giving up a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl? Which one is more disappointing, Dana?
The Falcons.
Why would you say the Falcons?
The Falcons. Because you have more control over football than you do basketball. They had more. They both had control, but I think the Falcons had more control over their situation. They just started slowing down. Don't get me wrong. Excuse me. the Spurs style too. When you shooting threes, man, come on, man. And Kevin, I told you, man, them European guys is over for them. Oh,
I doubt that very seriously, but okay. Curry, what's
it's
your
over for
thoughts?
that big 7'5" guy, baby.
Yeah. Curry, what's your thoughts?
I think the Falcons loaded, and the reason I say the Falcons is because, at least in basketball, you're playing a series, so you got a chance to come back and right that ship. You do that in football in a playoff. You don't have a second day. You don't get two losses in a playoff series
Right.
in football. So yeah, so you don't even. Not only did the Spurs have a chance to come back and do that, they have leads in all the games. They just seem like they just blew them,
So
I'll say the Falcons.
Okay, I'm agree with you on the Falcons as well, but I'm gonna say this though: if we as fans watching the game and we know what they're supposed to do, why don't they do what they're supposed to do? And see, sometimes like who was it? Oh my goodness, I think my wife has said to me. She said, "Do you think sports is fixed?" I said, I'm gonna say this. I think it depends on who gets to the finals in every sport. If there's some fixation on doing some things that you ain't supposed to be doing, that gets done. Because if you think about it, the way Wemby was slinging Brunson around on that basketball court, and there should have been some fouls being called on him, they wasn't being called. And the Falcons game was a little different because they had more control over what could happen. The only thing they do is run the football. That's all they had to do was run the football. And run the football takes time off the clock, make them use their timeouts, things of that nature. And they didn't do that, and they ended up losing the game. The San Antonio Spurs, this is no lie. I told I was at my boarding hole watching that game with a friend of mine, with Ray Bennett. I said to Ray, I said, if they keep shooting these threes, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose the game. I said, because what's the difference of winning by 59 than 29? As long as you have more points than the opponent, you win. That's all that matters, right? But they just want to keep on shooting threes. And I tell you what else, one of the biggest problems with the Spurs is, and I wish Mo was on here because I know Mo would disagree with me, is they don't have a true point guard. Because even in the game, was that the same game they lost? That's when they had the big lead. And DeAndre Fox went to go for a layup. If you're a pure point guard, you pull the ball out, you run some time off the clock because you're already up by one. You make them foul you. Now you're shooting free throws. Now you're up by 3. You know, his basketball IQ is not there as far as a point guard is concerned. I don't think he's a point guard. I think he's more of a 2 guard, in my personal opinion. And when you're looking at San Antonio, I'm saying that's what they're missing. If I'm San Antonio, I know it's probably too late now, but I would look at somebody I would try to bring in somebody that's close to play like Chris Paul, right? That can settle everybody down, that can run a play and get everybody settled down, run a play down low, or run a play for shooter 3, whatever the case may be. But if you watch them play, they were more of a basically one-on-one team. They just took advantage of certain spots, and then they were shooting the 3 well. But like Curry said, every game they were up, and every game they lost. And then Dana talks about Wemby, in this situation, and I think they really got out-coached. I really believe they got out-coached. So I don't see San Antonio running it back with the team they got right now. They definitely need somebody that can take control of the game other than Wemby. Wemby's not the point guard. He could, even though he can dribble the ball, and things of that nature, but he's not the point guard. They need somebody in there. They need a floor general. And I don't know who it could be, because first person comes to my mind is Kyrie, maybe. But Dallas said he's not up for a trade bait. They're not going to trade him, so they're going to keep him and give him a nice little piece of change to stay in Dallas. And I think they might try to work. They might try to build around him and Cooper Flag, for the near future. because I don't think Cooper Flag is going to stay in Dallas when it's all said and done with. But to me, the series was one of the best series I saw. And the thing about it is, guys, is they say 6'2" guys can't play in the NBA no more. And I can think of 3 guys off the top of my head that probably was 6'2", 6'1", 6'2". Guy by the name of Tiny Archibald led the league in assists and scoring. Isaiah Thomas played on one leg, you know what I'm saying? And then you had Brunson do what he did in the games. So 6'2" is still guys that can play basketball. But let me ask you guys a question though. If what the Knicks did to help them win the title, are you looking for the next 6'2" guy, 6'2" point guard to come on your team and be that spark? Dana, what's your thoughts on that? Do you want to see the Lakers do something like that?
Man, listen, man, I got more respect for Brunson than I ever have after this series, man. He practically beat the Spurs by himself.
Hey, I totally agree.
He practically beat them by himself because like Hart didn't step up really, Bridges didn't step up, nobody else. And I like he didn't get any rest during those periods of those games.
And you know what though?
He sat down for like a minute.
Go ahead.
So I just said he sat down for a minute, and I just gained more respect for him. That's all.
And this is the thing though, what people need to understand is this right here, is that OG played a heck of a series, man. If Brunson wouldn't have did what he did in Game 6, OG would. If they would still won, and Brunson had a decent game, OG probably would have been MVP. But he took that team, put them on his back, and said, "Let's ride this thing out." And again, you have guys that when you got Brunson on the floor, you gotta, once the ball goes out his hands, you cannot allow him to have the ball. And if you think about, if you looked at the beginning of the series, they was picking him up right at, they would let him get the ball, and he was 90 feet coming up the floor. Somebody was in his face. You know what I'm saying? If you think about the first 3 games, he was really struggling with that. And then the Knicks figured out a way to get him loose as a goose, you know what I'm saying? And then he could score. But the thought process was right, you know, but the factor is that you don't have that defensive stopper on that team that can stop Brunson, that can stop OG, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't have a floor general on that team, and that hurt them. And I'm not saying that the floor general has to be a 6'2" guy. Floor general can be 6'7", but he has to be a point guard. He has to understand how to maneuver the clock, how to set your guys up to be able to get better shots than what they were getting, because that game with game 3? No, game 4. Game 4, there was no way that they should have lost that game. But you come out shooting threes the whole second half, it makes no sense to me, because as long as you win by 1 point, that's all that matters. Up by 29 and you lose, that's because you're trying to go up by 59. And that doesn't work, because if you guys think about it, in basketball, the first thing that goes is your legs in the second half. You want to shoot jump shots. And that's just part of the nature of the game. And people don't really understand that until you play the game, and how, you know, that you get that fatigue in your legs and you don't get that jump. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I congratulate the Knicks for winning. I mean, it took them a long time. I think it been 53. They said 53 years. So being 53 years, that's been a long time. I was 8 years old when they won a title, and I think let's see, yeah, I was 8 years old when they won a title, and then the next year I think the Celtics come back and win. So if history repeats itself, then the Celtics should win the title next year if history repeats itself. But Curry, let me ask you a question. Do you think that? Well, let me make my statement first, and then you guys can talk about it. I know that people are getting on Wemby because he didn't shake anybody's hands, but he was in the heat of the moment. and I'm gonna say this. I think that you shake hands into the finals because if you lose in the finals, you want to have that burning sensation that you said, look, I'm not gonna never let that happen again. So I don't even want to shake your hand. I'm just that mad about the game, about losing. It's not that I don't respect you or disrespect you. The better team won, I think. But I don't see a problem with them not shaking hands in the finals. And if they're in the same conference, yeah, you gotta give them respect because you're gonna see those teams in your conference 3, 4, maybe 3 or 4 times during the season. You may see them during the playoffs. But again, at the end, man, I don't want to shake nobody's hands if I lose, especially how they lost. I'm mad. I'm so mad. And you got to be mad at some of your players. You got to be mad at yourself because if you think about it, Curry and Dana, he wasn't the best free throw shooter in that series either. You know, they down by 1. He missed 2 free throws. Now you should have been up by 3. And Knicks come down, hit a shot. Now they up by 1. I know he's taking accountability for some things he did wrong, and I don't have I really don't have a problem with him not shaking his hands. Curry, what's your thoughts on that?
I can't say I have a problem with it, but I can't say I agree with it because who you mad at? Are you mad at them because they beat you? Hey, they just beat you. So I mean, the sportsmanlike thing to do is to suck it up, go over there, shake the guy's hands. You know, if you want to pat him on the back, do that, do whatever. If you don't want to do nothing else but shake their hand, do that. And then when you get to the locker room, if you want to sling a cooler around in there, or pick over some benches, or do whatever you want to do, you can be mad. I can be mad, but I don't have to disrespect you.
Okay. I can agree with that point. Dana, what's your thoughts? Dana, what's your thoughts? Dana, what's your thoughts?
Oh, who? I'm sorry.
On Wemby, do you think that are you upset? Are you upset about him not shaking hands, or you okay with that?
I mean, I get it. He's 22, and you know when you come from winning, and then when you ball like that, and then like you let the team down, half of the other team let the team down, you don't want to shake hands. You don't want to shake hands. I'm like, no, man, these guys embarrassed us. Took down our 16-point lead, I guess, Saturday. And you took down the 20. And you took down the 29-point lead. I'm like, you embarrassed me. So I'm going home to work out, and I'm come back, and I'm gonna try to embarrass you or whoever I play against.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think is the biggest issue with Wemby right now that he needs to work on?
I just think his weight. I just think his weight. He's too light.
Okay.
He couldn't even mess with Robinson. He had a chance against Towns, but he couldn't. I don't know what it was against Robinson, but I think it was the weight.
Okay, Curry, what's your thoughts?
I just think that I think he's just a big baby. I mean, he can't before you can learn how to win, you gotta learn how to lose.
Right.
You know, because Michael Jordan didn't go in there and start winning them championships, you know, until he had to go through some losses. Look at LeBron. LeBron, you know, he took his team to the finals real early in Cleveland. But he ain't win. So, I mean, you got to learn how to lose, and then you can learn how to win. And when you lose, you can appreciate when he win a championship, if he do, which I think he will, because that's a young team, and I expect them to be back real soon. And if and when he does win a championship, he's going to expect the team that they beat to come and shake his hand. So I just think he's a big baby, and I think he's a dirty player. gets by with too much, and I don't care if he's the franchise or I mean not the franchise but the face and they don't think it's a good thing to suspend him. But he was getting real close to the point where if he'd got that fourth finger, could have been suspended. But I'm just not a big Wemby fan right now.
Okay. And I think the biggest issue with him right now is that he's not in shape, right? And not that San Antonio was blowing teams out during the season, but he wasn't. You could see it in the series against Oklahoma City that he wasn't in shape, and you could definitely see it in the Knicks series. If you're going to be the starter team, they're gonna put it on you that you're gonna play up to 40-some minutes in the game. And you get your breaks when you get your breaks. Suck it up and let's go on. And I think that's the biggest. That's number one for me is staying in shape. Number two is he needs to work on his free throws because down at the end, when crunch time, he was missing free throws. He definitely was missing free throws. The attitude about not shaking hands, like I'm saying to me, if that's the NBA Finals and we know. And in Wemby's mind, he feels like they should have won because it was up every game, right? But at the same token, though, they didn't. So you couldn't close out. Again, I'm gonna say this again. That's where a point guard will come in and settle everybody down and do the things that need to be done. But this is the weirdest part of it all is that Vegas already has the Spurs a plus 25 to win the NBA Finals next year. They have Oklahoma City a plus 260 to win to make it to the NBA Finals. They got the Boston Celtics plus 550, and they got New York a plus 650. Now I don't know who's leaving. I don't know who's leaving New York, or if somebody's gonna come and grab some guys from New York. Because once you win the title, you want to go after that money. You want to get that money if you can. But I don't think San Antonio is that much better than Oklahoma City. And if you think about Oklahoma City, if they have the two players that were injured that was playing, we're talking about we're having a different conversation. And the conversation may be a little bit different with the Oklahoma City Thunder playing against the New York Knicks because they got a point guard that will go at the other point guard if they're going to watch each other. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But we will never know because the Oklahoma City Thunder didn't get there. But when I saw this, I was a little shocked at the teams that they had, the top 4 teams they had for each division. And I'm gonna say I don't know why the Knicks are not favored over the Celtics. I can see them; they should be favored over the Spurs as well. But I don't know about OKC because OKC wasn't healthy, And again, you got to be healthy, and it got to be a little bit of luck that goes involved. You look at OG with that tip in, amazing tip in. That right there sealed the fate of what was going to happen. And the thing about it is, when you get down 3-1, you spend so much energy to get 3-3 that next time you go to the next series, you might just falter. But then I'm gonna say this I think these young guys that play right now don't have that endurance because Curry, if you think about it, Dan, think about it. When the Lakers would take when the Lakers take Houston to the 7-game series and Boston would take Philly to 7-game series, then they got another 7-game series. It's all the desire. How bad do you really want it? How bad do you really want it? I seen Boston be down 3-1 against Miami one year and losing Boston Garden to Miami. Tatum goes down with injury. So it's just how bad do you want it when you're down 3-1? And I don't know if Wemby, if the San Antonio Spurs said, okay, some people think the San Antonio Spurs were a year early, and I'm going to kind of say I think they were because of the situation they have with Oklahoma City Thunder. But the thing about it is, you don't take this as we'll get there again, because with this free agency coming up, you don't know who's going to move where and who's going to go to the West, who's going to go to the East, who's going to go wherever. The conversation about Giannis going to the Miami Heat, conversation about him going to the Boston Celtics. I haven't heard any conversation about him going out west or any team out west. And I think the reason why you're not hearing that is because the West is a little bit tougher than the East, you know. And you know, if you were,
Kev,
yes,
I did hear, not from him, but I did hear that he said he would prefer to stay in the East.
right, yeah, because he know he has a better chance of winning a title than if he goes out west. But if he goes out west, he would have to go. And the thing, I think the perfect fit for him actually probably would be Golden State, but Golden State would have to give him a lot to get him, and then they got to fill that slot. And this is where a third team comes into play for Giannis. If that were to happen. But again, I'm really, even though I'm a Celtics fan, I'm really shocked that they got Boston above New York to get to the title next year, because Boston's team is still young. I don't know if Giannis coming to Boston gives them that 550 plus. But I heard some other names being mentioned coming to Boston as well. I mean, they got a little money out there. My personal opinion, I'm not bringing Giannis to Boston. And again, I'm saying this to you guys. I said this before. I'm not taking on Giannis, not knowing if he's 100% healthy. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're going to play the way you played in Milwaukee, then you're going to end up getting hurt. You're going to end up getting hurt because you're going to try to do 110% every game you play. So you're prone to get hurt. So the same thing's going to happen to you if you go to another team where you're not surrounded by talented players, and that makes the game so much easier. And if you guys look at Golden State and what they had, Curry surrounded by Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, what's the forward they had, and then they had a couple centers there. They made the game so easy for everybody. That's why they could win titles. And that's the thing is, that's where Giannis got to think about. If I go somewhere else, do I make it easier for me? Now I'm gonna tell you this right here, Curry. I've been hearing about John. There've been some steam about John Morant maybe coming to Milwaukee, and if John Morant comes to Milwaukee, then that may make you want to stay. You know what I'm saying? You got two guys that can get 30 points together. That's 60. Now you just got to figure out where you're gonna get the other 40 from, and that could be anybody. So again, congratulations to the New York Knicks. And let me ask you guys a question about the New York Knicks.
Hey, about you on Giannis, before you
get
off the Giannis,
go ahead.
Coming back to it. I think Giannis is going to end up in Miami. I really do. And because here's another, I'm just hearing this is what I've been hearing, that they would trade Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jamie Jaquez, and the Bucks would get up to 3 first-round draft picks, including the 2026. That's a lot. That's a lot, because if you think about it now, they're not building for Milwaukee. Won't be building for this upcoming year.
No,
they're building for the future. So to pick up those draft picks and to get younger, that's what they're looking to do. Because if you take and trade Jaylen Brown to Milwaukee, I don't know that Giannis is going to be. I don't think he's better fit in Boston than Jaylen Brown is. Because when Jaylen Brown pretty much carried that team. So I don't know that, like you say, I don't know you can count on Giannis to go there. And I just don't think that trade helps you a whole lot. But I did also hear that the third team, the third wheel could be Portland. Giannis could end up, not Giannis, but Jaylen Brown could actually end up at Portland. They also
had to
pick up even more picks.
Yeah, and they also had the Clippers involved in that pick. Him going to the Clippers too. Again, I'm not down for Jaylen Brown being traded, and I'm sick and tired of his name being mentioned in a trade. And if I'm Jaylen Brown at the end of my contract, then I'm gonna step off, because unless the conversation with him and Brad Stevens said, look, don't worry about what's going on out in the media. We know what's going on here. I'm telling you, you're not going anywhere. I'm okay with that, right? Because I'm gonna go back a couple years when Boston had Ray Allen, right? And after they won the title, Ray Allen was up for trade. The trade didn't go through. Ray Allen stayed. Then the following year, the same thing happened again, and the trade didn't go through. So when Ray Allen became a free agent, Danny Ainge said, I'm going to give you $11 million, and I'm going to give you no trade clause. Ray Allen said, no, I don't even want that. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. But then at that point in time, him and Rondo was bumping heads anyway, so that's why he kind of left Boston. But my thing is, like, I get my name should not be always in trade talk when I just carried this team, even though the East was weak, but they predicted them to win 30 games. They won 50-some games with Jaylen Brown, right? He can show you that he can be that dude. He's that dog, you know. And then the C reports that says everybody's tradable but Jason Tatum. I'm sorry, I can't say that I would do that. Even with the injury that he had, I have a problem with that. You know, Jason may be more talented than Jaylen, but Jaylen's that dog. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna do the dirty work that Jason may not do. You know, when Jason came back, they said, well, look, he's averaging a double-double or triple-double. Yo, they was allowing him to get rebounds and everybody else would run up the court. So they was doing a Westbrook for him. You know, the patting his stats to make it look like he was really doing something. And I'm not saying he wasn't, but I didn't see a lot of rebounds that he got where he had to fight for a rebound. I saw a lot of rebounds where they shot the ball, defense went down, offense went back down to defense. He grabs the ball and get a rebound. You know, I'm just saying. We got Rich on the line. Rich, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm chilling. What's up with y'all?
All right. Question for you, man.
Hey,
go ahead, Curry.
Hey, before you go to Rich, let me say one more thing about that. How you doing, Rich? But anyway, I was gonna say, Giannis is. I know Milwaukee wants to get as much as they can get, and that's what they're supposed to do. But think about it. Giannis is in the catbird seat because if they put a trade out there and Giannis don't like it, he don't have to take that trade.
Exactly.
He can say, look, I'm under contract with y'all. I'll just play you one more year, but I can tell you right now, I'm not going to sign with you next year. So it would behoove the Milwaukee Bucks to make sure that they make Giannis happy, make sure that he is going to be okay with that trade, because if you don't want the roof to cave in on you, you don't get nothing for him, because if he decides that, hey, I don't like it, I'll just play for you one more year and I'm done.
Okay.
I just wanted to throw that out there. I just think he's in a pretty good situation.
And I totally agree with you on that. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, I was saying, and my whole issue is this right here with Giannis. They didn't let him play at the end of the season when they should have. There was like 4 or 5 games or 6 games that they showed that he still has that talent. I mean, that he has the ability to play the game of basketball. You still don't know if he's going to be 100%. You know, he has knee problems, he has Achilles problems. You know, and we all know that people that tall wasn't meant to play basketball. They just supposed to be tall. You know what I'm saying? But again, I totally agree with you saying, you know, and I think Giannis would do right by Milwaukee, even if it was a situation where he said, okay, I don't like the trade, I'll stay here and I'll play the season out and we do a sign and trade for another team. I really think he wants to go to Miami, right? Because he's looking at the money factor there, that money that he's going to save compared to going anywhere else other than Texas, where they don't pay state tax. But there's no team in Texas that can afford him right now. You know, he can't go to the Spurs because Spurs made it to the finals without him, so they really don't need him. But the Miami part of it looks good, right? But the thing about it is that they're looking for that third team, and they want to involve Jaylen Brown in it. Again, I'm saying this again, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. I'm not trading Jaylen Brown for a guy that's not 100%. As simple as that. And to me, you're getting another Porzingis that's going to break down at some point in the season if the game's not easy to him. If he has to struggle like he's been struggling at at Milwaukee, then you're defeating the purpose. And if he goes to Miami, I'm happy. I'll be happy for Miami. I'll be happy for Miami. We can go and do whatever we want to do, and it'll be what it be. But Rich, question for you: is Wemby a little punk for not shaking hands, or if you was Wemby, how would you handle that situation? You shaking hands, or you just walk up?
Shook his hand like. Yeah, I mean, Wemby just being a sore loser, and I get it, but like Wemby wasn't ready for that moment. He's second-year player. It's all right that they failed this year. They can come right back next year with a Kawhi Leonard or a Giannis or whatever. They need a leader. They ain't got a leadership for San Antonio.
That's what that's what I was saying, is that I didn't think that they that's what they was missing, was that point guard that they could settle that thing down. And I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but DeAndre Fox, he just untagged himself at the Spurs Twitter or whatever the case may be. So he must know something that we don't know, because whenever you do that, you pretty much out of there. And Jaylen Brown ain't untweeted himself from the Boston Celtics, so I'm okay with that. But I think that's definitely what the Spurs were missing.
I got a question about that.
Go ahead, Curry.
What if these grown-up NBA players, NFL players, what do they get out of? I'm going to disconnect from you from my Twitter. I'm not connected with the team no more. Hey, Tyler Hero done the same thing in Miami. He done. I'm no more longer with him on my social media page. That sounds like some 16-year-old girls are doing. What are they getting out of that? I mean, seriously.
I agree.
But what do you get out of that?
But Curry, that's the way of people. That's the way of letting people know that they're no longer with that team. That's just what they do now. If you think about it,
okay, do it. Do you have to tell everybody?
Well, no, they didn't. Well, they don't have to. They don't tell nobody. Somebody from social media tells it. That's what happens. Somebody from social media says, "Hey, I just saw that. What's his name? Unliked himself or took his way off the Spurs." But
Hero, he said he disconnected himself from the Twitter.
So to me, that means that Giannis is probably coming to Milwaukee, right? I mean that Giannis is going to Miami because, like, again, I didn't see Jaylen Brown didn't tweet nothing. Now Jaylen Brown did put his house up for sale, right? And he said the reason why he put his house up for sale because he wanted to get I think he's looking to be married or something of that nature in the near future, and he wanted to get a more of a homebody house than a bachelor crib. Something that skipped my mind about
I just don't get it, man. I just don't get that.
Oh, what was it? Doggone it. Something that skipped my mind about what we were just talking about. Oh my goodness. All right, Rich, real quick. What was more disappointing? Atlanta Falcons losing that lead in the Super Bowl, or the Spurs losing that lead in the NBA Finals?
Oh, the Falcons for sure. Like, that was. I mean, they lost the game, but the war wasn't over.
Right.
With the Falcons, I mean, it was game over. That was it. This is for all the marbles, and they lost. They blew it. It was a 27-3 in the fourth.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how you lose that game.
All right. Okay. So now the Knicks is up. The Knicks fans are up there wilding out up in New York, man. It's been 53 years. Congratulations again for the New York Knicks. I don't have a problem with them winning because it's been 53 years. And I'm going to say this. There's two teams I would never cheer for in NBA Finals. The 76ers and the Los Angeles Lakers. I would never cheer for them. I don't care no matter what. I would never, ever, ever cheer for them. I don't like the Sixers. I don't like them. I don't like the Lakers, but I do respect them. Right, but the Sixers, I can't do nothing about the Sixers I like. So let me ask you guys a question. So they win a title, they're burning buses and burning stuff. And then I don't know if you saw the video I post out there. The guy that they beat up, that they said the guy's in a coma. I'm trying to find an article, but they said the guy's in a coma. Why do fans do that, man? Why can't we celebrate and enjoy? Now, this might be the younger fans. The older fans are gonna sit back, they're gonna go to a bar, get a couple of drinks, and gonna be happy about the win. But these younger fans, what is wrong with these people, man? What's going on? What is going on with this? Anybody any thoughts at all? No thoughts at all? No thoughts at all.
I don't know. I don't know what's in people.
Yeah.
I could try to figure out people.
I just don't understand it, man. It just play the game, and if you win, but put your hands on people, and then you're fighting each other. But the kid that had the Spurs shirt on, man, that kind of turned me away from the Knicks wanting to win this thing, because that was not uncalled. That's not uncalled for. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to walk down the street and wear whatever you want to wear.
No, come on, Kev. Now you gotta be a little bit more reasonable than that, because how many times have the Dodgers beat up the Giants?
And that's crazy too. I don't get that. I don't get that. But I'm gonna say this though. I think the Dodgers and the Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants, I think that's more of a gang related situation than it is anything else. Because what I was hearing was some of them guys were in gangs, they don't like each other. And so that's what that was all about. But again, they do be doing fighting there, and they need to stop that too, because it's just a game. Because at the end of the day, the players that play don't even care about you fighting. They just want to win the game. And I think fans need to stop doing what they're doing, because what's going to be happening is in the future, they're not going to be able to have those block parties no more because of the violence that it creates. You know, and people just gotta respect each other. You know what I'm saying? Respect your colors that you wear.
Sometimes we don't look at it for what it is, because we only hear about the aftermath of everything. Is sometimes, you know, when you get a bunch of people, they drinking and they running their mouth and saying things, and the worst thing you want to do is talk them to a bunch of drunks when you outnumbered. The best thing to do is just, you know, don't argue with them, because you set yourself for failure.
Exactly.
It's always one in that crowd. It's always one in that crowd that's ready to fight.
Exactly. So, hey, guys, we got Ray Bennett, Orange and Blue Skies on the line. Orange and Blue Skies. Ray, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm exhausted.
You exhausted, man? Have you got any sleep?
Lost my voice.
Hey. So, guys, me and Ray was together the night that they came back 29 points down. And I sat there and said to Ray, I said, yo, if I ain't know, I said to Ray, I said, if I ain't know no better, I thought there's a Boston Celtics out there shooting threes. I said, because that's what Boston would do. That's the type of game Boston would play. They would keep on shooting threes, keep on shooting. And so when Hart missed the layup, Ray was like, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then it went from he was on a roller coaster ride the whole second half, man. So Ray, you're a Knicks fan, man. Tell me, how does it feel for you?
All I can say is this: 53 years, I go back to some bad ball players in New York City, some Mike Newland, some Larry Demick, some Hawthorne Wingo, some players that people don't even know. You know, they know about the 27 in the 92, 94 season. But there's been a lot of bad years in between. We had Phil Jackson, Tom Thibodeau, Pat Riley, Lenny Wilkins, Don Chaney, Larry Brown, Isaiah Thomas. We had a host of good players and some not so good players. Tracy McGrady, Penny Hardaway, Stephon
Marbury.
So many players that have come in. Marbury. Yeah, we've had so many players in between.
So let me ask.
I had a chance to return to this place Saturday night, sat in the same place with the same outfit.
So
And
let me
the place was packed.
so let me ask you a question.
Yes,
Um,
yes, sir.
oh my God, just get my mind. Oh my goodness, who was it? It's something about the Knicks. So as I kind of can relate, but I can't relate because it was like 20 years since Boston had won from 1986 to 2008, and when you start naming names, I'm thinking to myself, I said, yeah. I remember one year Boston beat the Bulls the first game of the season. I said, yeah, we're going to the playoffs, and we won 30 games that year. And so I mean, I know you were elated. I mean, you was around when they lost, when they won the last title, and
Yeah,
now that they won a title. Let me ask you a question.
yeah.
How big of a difference do you think let me ask you a question. Do you think um do you give credit to the GM, or do you give credit to the owner that kind of put this thing together? Because if you think about it, that this was starting to form in 2019. If you really think about the moves you guys made, so what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's the GM. It's Leon Rose, West Coast West, because he had people before. He had Larry Brown in there. He had Phil Jackson in there. He had Bianchi. He had a host of other people. But he had a person who really studied and understood the game. Worldwide West is amazing for his ability to articulate and get his point across to some of the players. And to bring in the right players, to bring in players who know how to play together. And so those are the moves. And to get players here, you picked up OG, you picked up Hart. Now people are looking and saying, look at Luka Doncic. Was it Luka? Was it Brunson? Most people are saying is Brunson the guy. He's a closer. You go get you go get Cat, you pick up Bridges, you get Mitchell Robinson, you pick up a couple of players off the bench, and you're ready. Then Tibbs is a guy who only takes you but so far. And then he went out and brought in Mike Brown, who was able to work that their second season and bring in guys who were able to do what they needed to do. So when you talk about 20 years is good, but 20 years means nothing compared to 53.
I know. I'm happy for you
I mean,
guys.
and to sit there Saturday night at Rookies to see the play start off, and I kept on saying what I always say: let's go. Down 14 and coming back. Down 12, down 10, down 9, down to 6, down to 4. And I tell you what, say whatever you want about Jalen Brunson. He just keeps coming. Play after play. And then at the end of the game, missing shots and missing free throws. And I tell you what, Rich Robinson being in there and tipping the ball out, back out, was key.
That was
and
big.
All the players came together collectively.
That was big, man.
And then when it was all over, the missed shot, the place went crazy. It was drinks, people partying, people crying, people were emotional.
Yeah.
By the time I left to go home, I had over 80 phone calls and texts from people across the country because they knew what it means. When you lose and the season is over early, that's one thing. But when you lose year after year and you find out reasons and you keep on saying maybe next year, and to see people crying across the country, people calling me crying, literally crying, hoping and weeping because it meant so much across the country, cousins and family members around the country. I wasn't finished talking till almost 4 or 5 o'clock. And I woke up and I checked, I said, is this real? It's real. And what's interesting about Saturday night, excuse me, they marked almost 50-something years since the Rangers had won their championship, almost 20 years before that, and 50-something years since the Knicks have won their championship since that. So it's crazy in New York. People are still partying in the streets. I'm not going because I can't take the pressure. But I'll watch it.
Hey, so
emotional.
So you're a Knicks fan. Let me ask you a question. When did you know that this team was real? Because they kind of like cruised through the season. They had some ups and some downs. OG still dealing with the hamstring situation, things of that nature. So when do you think that they knew that this team could be really, really good? I have an idea, but I want to see what you think.
I think when they won that World Cup and their ability throughout the course of the season to come back, you beat them, but you never blow them out. And they have a go-to guy, and they have a combination. So once they're winning the World Cup, it changed the whole philosophy. People were all upset about whether Boston was second and Detroit was first. It didn't matter. I tell people all the time, if you know basketball, you know sports. 4 out of 7 is completely different than one game.
Exactly.
They have when you go 16-3 and you lose 2 games to Atlanta by 1 point and you lose another game by 4 points, you know something was special. But it's not only them, it's the management. It's all those guys that are standing there, Jenks and Brunson Sr. and Brown and the 9 or 10 guys that are around the bench. The guys are talking to each other. Then you heard Brunson say tonight, talked about it. He said when Hart went up and missed the layup, all I could think about was Patrick Ewing, Charles Smith, and all those guys all over again.
Yeah, we talked. Yeah, we said that.
On the next play, yep, he missed that. So he was on the floor. Brunson said they went and picked him up and said, let's just get ready. The season's not over yet. So,
exactly.
You know, it's a collective. It's a collective of everybody checking their ego. Yes, Brunson's the man, but he understands the importance of everybody coming together. And sometimes those of you who follow sports will go back to remember when Villanova won it with John Pannone and they beat Georgetown that one year. It's a moment in time. It's one moment that you can't repeat. And this moment going 16-3 and winning the championship is all that really matters. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But until they crown a new champion next year around this time, it's the New York Knicks, baby.
So
like I say to people all the time, the man's Muslim. Bagels are Jewish. Let's go live. The Knicks 1-5.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna say this to you. Last time the Knicks won a title, do you know who won the title right after them?
The New York Mets. In 73?
No, I'm talking about basketball.
Oh man. when the Knicks won the championship?
Yeah, last time they won a title, last time they won an NBA title, the team that won after them was the Boston Celtics. You know, hopefully history repeats itself again.
Well, maybe we'll like I tell everybody, like I got the Sixers fans calling me and saying, I said, you can say whatever you want. You say whatever you want. Nothing really matters now. Life is good. It's a consistent party. Every day I wake up and I look at social media or TV and I'm like, I still can't believe it. This is still a shock. New York on Thursday is going to be off the chain.
Yeah, that's going to be
People
crazy.
People are flying in from around the world.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be crazy. That is going to be crazy, man. But again, I congratulate you guys, man. Like I told him earlier, I said 2 teams I would never cheer for. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Philadelphia 76ers. I have no love. I respect the Lakers. I have no love for the Sixers. I'm sorry. If they never win another title, I could care less.
Have won down 43 years.
Hey, okay, guys, let's move on again. Hey, Rich.
Yeah, I'm going back to being quiet.
All right.
I just wanted to touch base. Y'all enjoy.
All right. Hey, Rich.
Yes, sir.
Tiago Spinner, are you okay with that?
I am. I like the move. I would have much rather Cassell, but I like Tiago Splitter I think that he's going to give us some defense. I think I just got to see how he works with this team. I got to see who he wants. He's going to keep. But I think that I like the move. I did like it.
Do you So you said why do you think Cassell would have made a better coach than Thiago Smith? Because I'm gonna say the reason why I'm asking you this because I think they both run the same type of offense. I think the defense is. I think Cassell works the deep. He's a defensive minded guy for the Celtics, but their offensively they kind of run this. They kind of run the same way. I think the Celtics are more play oriented in a way. Were watching Spurs this year, they were more like because he was a coach with the Spurs, right? Or no, wait a minute. Was he with the Spurs?
He was with the
not Spurs.
The Blazers.
Blazers, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm thinking somebody else. Yeah. So yeah, okay. All right. Forget what I was about to say.
Like
but
he took Portland to the playoffs.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked they didn't keep him, man. Unless they had something. That
ownership fired everybody after Chauncey Billups.
That just bothered me a little bit though for that to happen, man. That guy, he got Portland in the playoffs. I don't know how many players they're going to keep around. I know Williams is going to be a free agent. I know Drew Holiday's asking to be moved. So I don't know what's going to happen with that right there. Lou, how you doing, man?
All right, Kevin.
All right. Hey, Lou, got a question for you as a New York Knicks fan.
Yes.
Should Spike Lee get a ring?
Well, they can make him an honorary Knicks member. I don't know if they give him a ring, but I can make him an honorary member.
Anybody else agree or disagree with Spike Lee? I'm gonna say Spike Lee deserves to get a ring. Anybody else agree?
They better give Spike a ring.
Yeah. If the Lakers can give
Spike Lee
Joker a ring, I can't think of his name right now. They can give him a ring.
Right.
Spike Lee deserves a ring.
Absolutely. Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Spike been with the Knicks through the 80s, 90s, like all of it.
Yeah, he's been
at every game.
He's been around for a long time, guys. A long time.
Yeah, Spike better get a ring.
He's been around for a long time. All right, guys, let's talk a little. I don't want to talk about sports right now for a minute. I want to talk about this situation that since I have a platform for this, I want to talk about the situation.
Well, hold on, Cap.
Go ahead.
Before you start, I just wanted to say congrats to Curry on the Vic last night. Carolina Hurricanes beat the Golden Knights, and I ain't say good game in the chat because I wanted to tell him in person that was a good series, and congratulations on that win.
Oh, Carolina! So Carolina won a Stanley Cup.
Yep. Yeah, they won it last night.
Oh, ain't that something? They shut us out too. So it ain't fixed.
Well, let me say this.
Go ahead, Curry.
Rich, I appreciate all that, but I can't take a victory lap on that because I pulled for the Carolina Hurricanes simply because they in Raleigh, North Carolina, 2 hours away from here. But I'm a Florida Panthers first and foremost. Right. So I didn't want to take credit on it, but I was just pulling for them. And I really didn't have a dog in the fight. I told you before the series, I just thought that Carolina played such great defense that I thought that they would that they would win it. Not that I had a dog in the fight, but I will say this: one of the things that hurt, and Rich, you may agree with me on this. If you go back to Game 3, when Carolina was down 4-0, and they scored four runs, four goals in that third period. And from that point on, they outscored Vegas 19-7. So that's where it all fell apart on them right there. So I think, and one of the key things that they did was when they took Freddie Anderson out and put Bussy in there, that changed the whole game.
Hey,
It did.
hey, Rich. So let me, Rich, let me ask you a question. So the Knights are up 4-0. Do you think they was overconfident in that being up 4-0?
No.
Okay.
I think Carolina was really just that good.
Okay.
Like Carolina was faster than Vegas. I think Vegas had size, but they didn't use it well. You know, but Carolina played excellent defense. They were super fast away from and coming to the puck, and they were just better than Vegas. Like, but I knew that going in, it was going to be tough.
Okay.
Because Carolina's super fast and they play excellent defense.
Okay. So again, I want to get to a topic on here. It's not sports related, but I'm gonna say this right now. If this government doesn't fix this issue, we're gonna have a civil war. This government got to get this right. They have to fix this because this is getting outrageous. I sat on Facebook and I watched about 4 or 5 videos of police officers harassing people of color. I saw them, a guy that's paraplegic that has to get, they put him in a car, he can still drive, right? And they put him out the car and they drag him to another cop car because they said they want the dog to smell the vehicle to see if he had any weed in the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying to myself, if there's weed in the vehicle, why do he have to get out? But that's the kind of stuff I saw. But I want to just talk about this Lee County situation where this man goes, and I know you guys read about it, but it says Lee County family is trying to process how weekend reunion in Leesburg, Georgia turned into an ambush and how the man accused of opening fire on them was back on the streets within 2 days. So basically what happened was this guy had words to somebody at a family reunion, a black family had a family reunion, and he leaves, goes get body armor on, comes back with an AK-15, RK-15, and he starts shooting people at a family reunion. And then they start shooting back at him. The guy gets arrested, right? And he gets out on bail. So I'm saying to myself, they said they gave him as it was assault, a simple assault or something. What is that? If anybody knows, you can chime in anytime you want to. Where's it at? So let me just read the article if you guys don't know about it. So it just says
aggravated assault.
Aggravated. They got it for aggravated assault. But why not premeditated? Because he had an argument. He went home. He had an opportunity to think about what he wanted to do, and he didn't get there. But now they're saying that more charges are going to come to him. And the one guy says, "I'm on it." He said, "I'm 62 or 69 years old. I'm 60." He says right here. He said the emotional toll. Where's that? Let me get there. He said that the guy says the emotional toll landed harder even without a single family member injured. Lucy Cynthia Brazar, who is 62, described lying on the street during the gunfire, terrorized for his 77-year-old sister and crying through the night afterward. Keisha Wilson, who said the family had gathered for their grandmother's birthday, told reporters the man came by twice, trying to provoke them from before shooting started. These are people enjoying an ordinary summer evening and will carry this for a long time. Here in the detail driving the outrage online. Ken Kaiser was charged with aggravated assault, then released the next day with $5,000 bond, according to court records. A man accused of putting a body armor on, arming himself with a rifle and firing on a yard full of black children and elderly, posted a few $1,000s and walked. The Lee County family said investigators did not even notify them that he had been let out. What kind of BS is this? This to me, this doesn't. Yo, the government need to get a hold of this, because I'm telling you right now, with the next 2 years, if this man doesn't, if he doesn't die, or somebody shoots him and kills him, whatever the case may be, if he stays in office for the next 2 years, this is going to be a civil war in this country, and we don't deserve a civil war. But the problem is that they're allowing people to do and say whatever they want to say and think it's okay. It's not okay no more, because the thing about it is, people of color are not taking this. They're not taking this no more. They're going to react. They're going to react. They're going. Your reaction gets another reaction, and you're not going to like the reaction you're going to get back from them, right? And this is how can you? So this family is going to be devastated for the rest of their life. Whenever they go to a park or have a cookout, the first thing they're going to be looking for is somebody want to do something to them. And we haven't even talked about the little kids. This is going to be with them for the rest of their life. People just think about a drama, something that happens to you in your life that you think about on it, not every day, but it brings up. Like, I remember being in Iraq, and I remember again incoming mortars coming in, and I had like a big 24-foot cinder block in front of my window, right? But between my window there was space, right? And then a mortar hits the ground and it doesn't go off. But if it went off, it probably would have shattered the glass, and the whole right side of my face probably would have had glass in it. And I think about that all the time, because that was devastating to me as a person. So just think about how these people are going to feel for the rest of their lives about the situation. And again, the outcome of this got to be justified. And he can't get no 1, 2, 3 years, whatever. And he ended up getting hurt because a Marine shot him. Somebody that was in the Marine Corps and the family shot him, who could carry a weapon, right? And I don't know whatever happened to him, but man, this is considered domestic terrorists. And why? But my thing is, why do people think they can say whatever they think they can say in 2026 and think it's okay to use the N-word or disrespect people of color? Because people of color are not accepting this no more. I'm telling you right now, they're not going to accept it. And just like they got guns, we got guns. You know what I'm saying? And they got guns. And then it's going to be an OK Corral situation. The government needs to take hold of this, and they need to do something about this, ladies and gentlemen. They need to do something about it, because I'm telling you right now, if that was my family, oh yeah, I'm going to actually find out where he's at, and something's going to happen to him. You know what I'm saying? Because you got family out there, somebody 77 years old, who's been around, who's probably been, if they lived in Georgia, she's dealt with racism already as a kid growing up. And now it's 2026. You think that you don't have to deal with it no more. It's always going to be a part of our culture, because it's taught to you. This is taught to you through your family, through your friends. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, Jesus Christ don't care what color you are. He just wants you to believe in him, and you'll be saved, and you'll go to heaven, and you'll be with him. But there's no way they're gonna sit and tell me that when this guy dies that he's supposed to go to heaven for what he did. Granted, he's supposed to forgive you. You know what I'm saying? But some things, I just don't believe it, man. But I just want to talk about this because this is near and dear to my heart, because I don't think nobody should have to go through this. And this is going to be something they're going to have to deal with for the rest of their lives, even with the kids dealing with that for the rest of their lives. And that's not fair to them. And hopefully he gets what he deserves. You know, and if I'm the judge, I'm sitting in the jail, and every June, was it July 7th or whenever it was, July 7th, when this happened, he has to write the oldest person in the family a letter to apologize for it. So, because I don't want him to forget about what he did. I don't want him to forget about it. And I don't even care if you open the letter or not, but you just know that he has to write a letter. You know what I'm saying? But for the police force not to let that family know that that guy had got released is something else. Leesburg, whatever that police department name is right now, once I get done suing them, it'll be Dixon's police department, because I'm taking them for everything it's worth, because that how you not inform the family of that, man. It's just sickening that 2026 when we still dealing with this mess, and again, it just is not right, man. It's just not right at all. Not ever. Not ever should this be right. Everybody has a right to live in this country. This is why the United States is called the United States, because even though you brought some people here that didn't want to be here, but they're here now, you know what I'm saying? And then you have people that want to come to the United States because they get to live their life free of not being hungry, not being tortured, not being demanded that you can only watch one channel, you can only do this, you can only do that. Here you had the freedom of speech, you had the freedom to be whatever you want to be. And we still have people like this in this country. It really irks my nerves, man. It really pisses me off to no end. So if you guys got a comment on that, that's fine. If not, we can move back on to sports. Okay.
I just got a real quick one.
Go ahead.
Through this process, since this president and this administration came in, like Black people, for the most part, and I can only speak for Black people, but we stepped aside. Like we're usually the ones out on the front lines and kind of managing the situations that arise in the United States. Like our leadership is usually the ones that are on the television and doing all the talking. Like we are putting our faces on everything in regard to people of color. So this time, we didn't do that because we told everybody before these people were elected what was going to happen. And it's happening. And this is where we at, Kev.
It's sad, man.
You know, like the white progressive and the white liberals going to have to step out on the front line now. Like you're going to have to put your lives on the line because they shooting at us.
Exactly.
Like they not shooting at y'all. I mean, a few have been killed, but they were killed by ICE agents. Ours are getting killed by a teenage kid. Exactly. And the kid walks.
Exactly.
So like we can't be the front line of this. Like I'm concerned for everybody, as far as people of color, you know, in that regard. But at the same time, like, you know, actually, especially the Hispanic and Latino communities, like y'all voted for this. This is what y'all wanted.
And who's
until it wasn't benefiting you no more.
And who's the first person they try to deport out of here, regardless if they lived in the United States or not?
Right.
Regardless.
Right. And then like well, first y'all wanted it, and then when it wasn't going your way, then the first thing they want to say on the internet is, "Where are the Black people?"
We tried to tell you.
But this is what you voted for. We told y'all leading up to this election what was going to happen.
He even told y'all.
Y'all fell hook, line, and sinker with the line, and here we are.
And he even told y'all what was going to happen.
He every step of the way. Every step of the way, he told them what he was going to do. And they did not. They were like, "Oh, they listened to the pundits on TV explaining to them, you know, oh, this is not what he meant. What he meant was this, that, and the other." Like they understood. Yeah. And they didn't understand what he was saying. They didn't know. And this is where we at. And this is a rich-poor thing. This ain't a black-white thing. Like when this is all said and done, like, it's going to come down to the rich people on the media. They own social media. They own everything you look at. And all they're doing is just feeding that machine And everybody just keeps looking. It's like trauma bonding.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's going to explode eventually. It's going to spill out into the street. It's already starting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to be a civil war. It's going to be like a purge, more like the purge.
Mm.
Like there ain't going to be no. The only army that's going to be standing is going to be the United States Army. Everything else is going to be clicked up and by family, friend, or neighborhood or whatever, and it's going to be like the purge out this joint. You ain't going to be able to drive down the street in your own neighborhood.
And you know what's weird was a friend of mine. He a Caucasian friend of mine. He said, "Man," he said, "Look," he said, "I hope it doesn't happen." He said, "But if you got American flag and things go crazy, stick it in your window." He said, "Put it in your window."
Yeah.
He said, because that's going to determine who comes where. I'm like, what? He said, I'm just being honest with you, man. He said, this is what this country's coming to. So I tell you what, man, he just has to go. I mean, oh my Lord, I never thought I would see.
It's economic though, Ken.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is economic.
Like it's not about race.
It's about rich and poor.
It's not about religion.
It's rich.
It's rich and poor.
Yeah, rich.
So they drive the narrative.
Rich gets richer and the poor get poorer because I mean, gas goes up. Gas goes up almost $2, and the average person gets if let's say you get a cost of living raise about 3%, right? Let's say you get a 10% cost of living raise. What is that 10% gonna do when it comes to you filling your tank up for gas? You know what I'm saying? What is how's that gonna help you when you go to buy groceries? Buy milk, buy eggs, just the little things that you need to get, You're
turning basics into luxuries.
Exactly. And everybody's not gonna be able to afford it. So again, I pray for this country.
I just have one more comment, Kev.
Go ahead.
Just real quick. And I'm going to end it with this. I've seen white people complain about what black people been dealing with for God knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen it, and I'm just like, I can't, and I see the shock, that they have in their eyes, that they get, like, this is, be treated like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is kind of funny.
Yeah, because
I sit there and think to myself,
now you know how we feel.
Now you know how it feels.
And you think about like my wife, she takes diabetes medicine, right? It used to be free. Now it's almost $45, right? And I'm like, this is crazy. So the extra $45 that I got to pay for this, I got to take away from something else. And so it's not good at all, man. Not good at all. All right.
No, man, it's messed up.
So let's get back.
Hey, can I hold in?
Go ahead, Kerry.
Just give me 1 minute.
Take as much time as you want.
Black people represent 13% of the country population, and 38% of the black people are incarcerated. That are So why are those numbers lopsided? Is because of a situation like this, where this guy gets basically a $500 bond because the bond was $5,000. So you pay 10%.
10%.
You get out on $500. Okay, so I mean, now when we get a bond, when we get in trouble, our bond is set so high that we have to wait till the bond comes down. The judge reduce our bond and hope that we can get out then. And then sometimes we can't afford to get out then. And then I'm not trying. The reason what I'm trying to say is there's a double standard here.
Mm-hmm.
You charge this man with aggravated assault, and I try to take race out of most things, but in most cases, if that had been a black person, that would have been a no bond situation, or his bond would have been so high that he would have been able to reach it, or he would have been charged with attempted murder. So the cases are different for different people, and that's where we gotta draw. There's gotta be a line drawn. Say, hey, I don't care who you are, where you come from, what you do, because Lord knows we have enough black on black crime as it is. But when somebody else do something else, it's almost like, well, we'll just sweep that under the rug. We're not going to even worry about that. But that's my little take on that. I just wanted to throw that out there.
But that's because we gave black on black crime a name.
Yeah.
And it should have one, because whites kill whites, Asians kill Asians. You kill who's in your proximity. Like if you're a white dude, you live around a bunch of black people, you know.
Good point.
But again, we need to stop. We need to, and I'm going to say this. my thing within the next 3 to 4 years is to get as much black history about my family as I possibly can. And I found out that I don't know if you guys saw my post where I went back almost 7 generations, and I found out that the Dixon name was the middle name of a guy by the name of Colonel Abrams. His first name was Colonel, middle name was Dixon. I think his last name was Abrams. I'm not for sure. My cousin sent me some information on it. So I have to go do some searching in Mississippi, because that's where we originally came from. Right now, we might have came ashore in Virginia or North Carolina, but we started in Philadelphia, Mississippi, somewhere in that area. But the thing about it is that when I read the stuff I read, I'm like, man, and got an opportunity to talk to my great uncle, my grand uncle, about life down in South Carolina, and they moved to Pennsylvania, and he said the only difference was up here is that they allow blacks to be managers, foremen at the steel mill and things like that. He said, but down south, he said they would have never allowed that. He said, he told me, he said, I remember I made $1,000 the third. He said, when I started working at the mill, he said, I made $1,000 my third week. He said, I put in overtime like four times that week. He said, I got a check for $1,000. He said, I didn't know how to act with that. He said, but what I did was I just put some money, I'll start putting money away. He said, then my grandfather was in the military, so he worked in the steel mill, and then he ended up buying a gas station. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that we need to get our young people to understand about Black history. When you have kids that wear Michael Jordan sneakers and have never seen Michael Jordan play, but you want his sneakers, regardless of the thought process of why he said what he said about who should wear them, who shouldn't wear them, things of that nature. But that's history. That's Black history. And the thing about it is, if you talk to your family members that's still alive and they talk about Black history, it gives you a sense of dignity and pride, because Curry and Lou and Rich, growing up, man, the worst thing you wanted to do was disrespect your parents when you're not around them. Act a fool when you're not around your parents. Somebody go back and say, I saw your son down there acting a plumb fool, being disrespectful, do whatever. You didn't want to hear it. You didn't want to do that because that was your name. And at the time, that's all you had was your name. Now these kids don't even care. I had 2 young ladies want to fight each other in school. Come to find out that they're related. They're cousins, right? Again, because we don't get together like family. We don't have family reunions no more, because one of the issues we do have is we have a lot of mothers that don't give their kids the father's last name for whatever reason it is, and so you lose that disconnect, and it's just for my family, it just never, that disconnect stayed connected, which I'm really surprised of. As far as the men were concerned, there's a couple other names that's added into my family tree, but there are They were kids that maybe my great grandmother had from somebody else. There's a couple other kids that some of my great great grandfather or great great uncle, they might have been married 2 or 3 times and they didn't carry their last name. But that's where the disconnect comes from because you don't know. You know, like I told my daughter, I said, if you ever get married, I said, if I'm still around, I said, I want your husband to understand that you need to carry your last name. It's no disrespect to him. And like I told my wife, I said, you can carry your last. She said, I said, I never told you couldn't carry your last name because I said, because I don't want you to have that disconnect from your family because that means a lot to you. It means a lot to people, you know. And like with my family, my kids, my grandkids and my great grandkids, they have pictures of people that they can look and see. It's like, hey, that was my great 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 grandfather. So if they just read about the time frame that they lived, they can kind of they maybe can relate. But if you have no pictures and no thoughts and no nothing, they can't relate to what we went through. You know what I'm saying? But again, I think that's where we need to start with this. And the black on black crime has to really stop because people are getting killed and and you don't know, you don't even know why. I say to kids all the time, I said, why you don't like that person? Oh, because he didn't like my post on Facebook. I was like, what? I said, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. So that's enough of that.
How they socialize,
Yeah. So that's enough of that right there. Let's get back to some sports, right? So let's talk about some NFL. Okay, we're gonna go to Rich's team. Hope or mope? This is what's going on with the San Francisco 49ers. It says, how many teams would trade their roster for what the 49ers have? Probably 90% of the NFL. If not more, San Francisco has an all-pro at almost every position group save for the secondary, led by a tight end George Kittles, left tackle Trent Williams, running back Christian McCaffrey, edge rusher Nick Bosa, and linebacker Fred Warner. Mop. Can the 49ers finally stay healthy and put everything together for 1 year? San Francisco has reached the 2 Super Bowls and 4 NFC Championships games since the start of the 2019 season, but injuries, Patrick Mahomes, and some bad luck has kept them from running the 6th title in the franchise history. Mope, hope, or mope? That's what's going on with 49ers. You want to comment on that, Rich?
We about to win the Super Bowl. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah. Miami Dolphins, Curry. They need to unmute yourself. Cause I muted him. Where was that? Okay, here we go. Miami Dolphins hope Malik Willis turns into one of the best free agent signings of all time. After taking a 3-year deal to join the Miami Dolphins, Willis is being tasked to take over the league less talented team with only 6 career starts. Mope. If Willis isn't good enough, or the rookie coach Jeff Hafling isn't ready to lead the group, the Dolphins could legitimately challenge to become one of the worst teams in the NFL. What's your thoughts on that, Rich? I mean, on Curry?
I second that emotion. I think that he is going to be a lot expected of him. I don't know. We don't know what we're going to get from him. We're just hoping right now that he turns out to be what they think he's going to be because they're the ones that brought him in. He rode in with them.
Right.
So, but if he doesn't pan out, the good thing is they're not in a whole lot of money with him,
right?
Say like there was a tour, so they can walk away from that real early. And I've heard some crazy stuff today that if the Baltimore Ravens don't sign Lamar Jackson real early, there's a good possibility he's not going to come back next year.
Whoa! And
I know one thing: Stephen Ross, the Dolphins owner, he was in love with Lamar Jackson, but they chose to. I forgot. They took Minka Fitzpatrick instead in that draft.
Okay. We're gonna readdress that with comment that you just said. Lou, Dallas Cowboys hope CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens have a case at the league's top wide receiver duo. The Cowboys have added a couple first-round defenders and safety Caleb Downs and edge rusher Malik Lawrence. Mope. It's always a risk betting on rookies, and Dallas will need both of their information's first-year talent to play well for the last last year's 30th ranked defense to excel under new coordinator Christian Parker. What's your thoughts on that one, Lou?
Yeah, well, the Cowboys, of course, had struggled with their defense last year. That's what they have to get, have the on the straight to know what's happening now. I'm not saying I'm not giving any hope on Dallas, but they do need, a lot of work in the defensive line to be able to compete this year and make a case for the NFC East, which wasn't really a voice. So they really have to, focus on that first before anything else.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Los Angeles Rams. This is a team. This is the best team in the league on paper. The Rams went from the NFC title game and then added a pair of All-Pro edge rushers, Myles Garrett and corner Trent Duffy. If Los Angeles doesn't win its second Super Bowl in 5 years, it would be a disappointment. Matthew Stafford is turning 38 years old, and if he sustained a long-term injury, the Rams have Stetson Bennett and rookie Ty Simpson as their backup. Also, this could be a one-year run for Los Angeles, which has a host of high-priced free agents eligible for extensions, including wideout Puka and Devontae Adams, guard Kevin Dotson and Steve Alville, and defensive lineman Brian Young and Kobe Turner. I agree with that because I'll tell you this right now: if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, those guys are going to leave because they're not even talking about contract extensions for none of them right now, right? Which doesn't make any sense. Me personally, I'm waiting on Puka to see what type of player he's going to be. I'm definitely will sign Kevin Dotson again, especially with the situation with the one lineman that's maybe not playing because of aggravated assault. But then they're saying that what happened was he thought the girl was filming him and he asked her for a phone. So that there could be some slippery slopes doing with that. But anyway, and defensive lineman Brian Young and Kobe Turner, I gotta sign them back up. I gotta bring them back. At least you have a formidable defense. Because I think even though Stafford signed a 2-year deal, I think that's just to make the money look good. I think this might be his last year, regardless if he comes out, if he wins or if he wins the Super Bowl or if he loses the Super Bowl, it doesn't really matter. Or if he even gets the Super Bowl. The biggest thing with the Rams, I think, is they're gonna need to stay healthy. If they can stay healthy, then if they got the best 53-man roster, then they have an opportunity to do something special with this team. Even though they're saying that Aaron Donald's coming back, but they're not saying when. I heard they said the 5th game of the season. I think if he doesn't come back at the beginning of the season, he's not coming back. Because if he's saying the 5th game of the season, then that's always that anticipation of him coming back, and that's going to be the conversation, regardless of if the Rams win or lose a game. Let's say they lose. Well, do you think if Aaron Donald was here, he would help the defense win game? And you don't want to keep answering those questions. You want to be, if he's coming, come at the beginning of the season. If you're not going to come, you're not going to come, and leave it at that. But I think the defense right now is pretty good. I'm not really scared of Seattle, but I am scared of 49ers because again, they're healthy and the schedule is not. The schedule is in the benefit being 12-5 and being in 3rd place. That's cake, man. I wish that most teams at 12-5, you playing a top, you playing the division winners. So San Francisco got a leg up on that. With that going on with the 49ers. So we'll see how that thing runs out. Stefon Diggs has been cleared of all charges, guys. I'm hearing that Baltimore might be a fit for him. What do you guys? What's your guys' take on that? Curry, what's your take on? Do you think that that's a good fit for Devontae Diggs if he goes to Baltimore?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good fit. I think he's still got some. I wouldn't count on him to be number one, but he's still got some juice.
Okay, all right. Lou, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that. He's supposed to be with some of them. I agree with that.
Okay, Rich, thoughts?
I think Baltimore is the best place for him. He's been, to me, what they're missing. I think in Baltimore's offense, he can be a number one. Like, I do agree with Curry saying he's a great number two.
Okay.
But I think in that offense, he can be a number one. And so I think Baltimore is a good one. Yeah.
So are you saying that because you don't want him going to the Rams? That's what you're trying to say, right? That's the undercover lay low to the lay low.
I don't care. If he goes to the Rams, we locking him up. Like, it don't, you know what I mean? Like, we're not afraid of y'all.
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. You're not afraid of us. You're not afraid of us yet. You're not afraid of it yet. But if Diggs go there, that offense is gonna be explosive. That's gonna be man, that'd be something to talk about. But let's go back to
The thing is y'all
go ahead.
We don't have nothing to lose. You know, y'all got the reputation.
I
don't have that.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you on that. They're all in again. But I think that being all in, when they went all in before, they won. Not in the fashion I want them to win, but they won. The Myles Garrett though, that's a huge piece right there. That's huge right there. That guy,
Jared Verse was a huge piece.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say this though. Myles Garrett, Jared Verse wasn't as a defensive end, and sometimes as a linebacker, stand up linebacker. He wasn't getting double teamed as much as Myles Garrett does. And if Myles Garrett's getting double teamed, that leaves somebody else open to make their job that much easier. So, but we'll see how this thing works out.
We'll see.
But let's get back to Lamar Jackson. So Curry brought up a good thing with him, and I'm gonna skip over how much time we got left. We got like 15 minutes. So we'll talk about the Wizards next week. But getting back to Lamar Jackson, I think Lamar is in the driver's seat right now. Curry, but I'm gonna say this though: if Lamar doesn't want to sign they want to sign him to a new contract right now, but he doesn't want to sign a new contract because you have other quarterbacks that's coming up for contract extensions and coming up for a new contract, and he feels like you got like the young dudes coming up for new contracts, and I think he's betting on himself again, right, to have a great season. And maybe be close to MVP or run up to MVP, or if he can get Baltimore to the AFC championship game, and Baltimore looks and says, okay, we missing this piece, we're missing that piece, and let's go back and get this piece. I think he stays, right? But I think that they want him at a certain price, and he doesn't want that price. He wants to be paid more. As a two-time MVP, I totally agree with him getting paid more. But again, if Stephon Diggs does go to Baltimore, that's to me. If I'm Lamar Jackson and Stephon Diggs is coming to Baltimore, I'm like, yo, you got to give him a 3-year deal. You give him a 3-year deal, then we can sit down and we can talk about what you're gonna give me. And because now their chances of going to Super Bowl are greater now than it was before, right? So now you have you have what we all think that he needs to have to get to the AFC Championship game, right? I still think the defense needs some work on, but the offensively that really helps them. But his mom's his manager or his GM or whoever she is. So the money stays in house. Nobody gets a dime, but the Jackson family can't get mad at him for that. But that's what I think. That's the key is that if he doesn't sign right now, the room of him going to Miami gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. If he has a great season, then now he can say, okay, Miami, this is what I want. You go back to Baltimore, this is what I want. You know what I'm saying? Now, they can't franchise him, right? If I'm not mistaken, they can't franchise him. After certain years, you can't be franchised, correct? Rich, Mo, Curry? I don't know.
No, you can be franchised anytime.
I thought there was a time frame that you could only. Okay, maybe I may be wrong right there. I may have to look it up. But again, if they were to franchise him, then she's looking at top 4 Let me look at here.
$60 million basically. But I think he's leaving.
So so you looking at top 4 is Patrick Mahomes 63, Dak Prescott 60, Josh Allen 55, Joe Burrow 55. Out of those 3 guys, only one has won a Super Bowl. One has not won a playoff game. One can't get out his own way again, and then one been to Super Bowl. That's crazy. That's crazy. And if anybody don't know, Patrick Mahomes is probably the first professional player I think ever that has made over $500,000, almost $500 million as quarterback playing football. And we'll see who could be the next guy coming up next. That could be Lamar, to be perfectly honest with you. So he would average right around 60 million.
Right.
So why? So
when is Lamar's contract up?
Next year. But they want to sign him to a new. They want to sign him to a contract now because they can lowball him because the other quarterbacks is going to be getting that, like the other quarterbacks that's getting money want to be the highest paid quarterback. He wants to be the highest paid quarterback again, and Baltimore ain't really trying to pay him that type of money.
You don't think Lamar wants to win?
I think he wants to win, but that's what I'm saying. If they bring Diggs there, then that's telling them that that give him a weapon that he never had before, in a sense. So they.
I mean, I understand that, but like, my thing is Lamar's getting old.
So his contract,
like, at some point he's going to want to win.
I agree. Lamar Jackson is currently a 5-year, $260 million contract with the Baltimore Ravens signed in 2023 and recently restructured his contract in 2026. All key contract details below. So 5 years between 2023 and 2027, total value $260 million. Annual salary is $52 million. Signing bonus is $72 million. Total guarantee is $185 million. Guarantee at signing $135 million. Free agent 2028.
Okay.
Let's see, he restructured. To create cap space in 2026. The Ravens restructured his deal 49.9, converted into a signing bonus. Base salary 1.3, workout bonus 75K. Added a void year. Cap hit 40 million. Cap hit jumps to 84 million in 2027. This restructure did not add any years. So the question though I have, Curry, is this right here. Is that does he have a no trade clause in his contract? Oh, it says he also has a no tag clause, meaning Baltimore must extend him or risk losing him in 2028. That's huge. That's huge right there. So they can't tag him. Wow.
He's asking for a trade at the end of this season.
So he said the next deal could reach 61 to 65 million, which makes him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. So again, if Baltimore's not in the AFC Championship game next year,
they're not in the Super Bowl.
Do you give him that type of money? If he goes to Super Bowl and they lose, and he's not the reason why they lose, they're gonna pay him. But the thing about it is he Miami's been talked about before, and that's why when Curry brought up, I wanted to talk about this because Miami's name has been brought up several times before, him going to Miami, and again, that's a lot of cheese, man. That's a lot of cheese. Curry, what's your thoughts?
Here's one thing I will say about it. This may be a little bit off of what you're saying, but I think Lamar hurts himself by not having a real agent. I think he should go out and hire him a really good spokesperson to go to the negotiating table with him And I think that's okay that your mom goes with you and all that, and you get to keep money. But I think he get a bigger contract if he goes with a legit free agent. I mean, not
with a agent.
Agent's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, because these owners, they can push back on him and her a lot easier than they can on an agent, because an agent gonna say, listen, you're paying my other client this much money, and because most of them agents got more clients on that team than just one.
Right.
So I just think he brings more to the bargaining table if he goes out and hires himself a agent. Go get Drew Rosenhaus. He's been known to get everybody money.
Yeah. I'm just looking to see. I guess it goes. So agents can charge up to 3% of the player's contract. Examine covers collective bargaining agreements, salary cap rules, players benefits, NFL, PA, agent regulations, substance policy. Past ratings are typically 50 to 70%. 35 must be maintained annual fee and educated. How agents could recruit players, rookies versus agents, how commissioners. Okay. So they get 3%. And so if you got 50 players underneath your name, then that's cheese right there. And you know, some of them guys, they do football, basketball, baseball, soccer, and things of that nature, man. Speaking of soccer, soccer's going on right now, ladies and gentlemen. I was hoping have somebody come on and talk about soccer, but because I have no clue about soccer. I just know they kick the ball down the field, they stay running all the time. The only time they can breathe is a timeout, or if the ball's all the way down under the field. I give soccer players and I give hockey players all the praises because it's nonstop for those guys. That's nonstop.
For the most part.
Nonstop, right there.
Well, hockey players do get more of a break than you think, because they're running players in and off the ice frequently. You know, they keep them pretty fresh, and then they have a long break between first period and a long break between the second period. So they get a lot of breaks. They're not constantly on the ice like basketball players are.
So we're down to 3 minutes left.
They stay pretty fresh.
We got 3 minutes left before I go around the horn. I'm gonna say this. Next week we're gonna be talking about. I put a post out the ball. But Washington Wizards, should they get rid of that draft pick? And I said they should, and I'll tell you why next week on the show. Also, we will talk about the NBA free agency coming up. Where Wemby is going to go, where should he go, things of nature. If we don't hear anything prior to that, but I'm gonna let you guys know if Giannis goes to the Boston Celtics, whatever team Jaylen Brown goes to, I'm gonna have two teams now because that's my dog. That's my dog, man. You hear what I'm saying? That's my dog. I've never been a follower of players. I've always been a follower of teams. Even though when Rondo left, I did follow him, but I ain't care for his team. But if Jaylen Brown goes somewhere else, I'm following Jaylen Brown. I'm going to do.
But if he goes to Philly,
he's not going to Philly.
But if he goes to LA,
he's not going to LA. If he go to LA, it's going to be the Clippers. That's where he's going. Yeah, I'm telling you right. It's going to be the Clippers. Or it's gonna be the Hawks if they do trade him. But again, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think this is all a ploy for Miami to get boatload of players to Milwaukee, and Milwaukee goes wherever they want to go with this. But I think if Giannis leaves, Milwaukee's in a rebuilding stage, and this, and Rich, get a load of this though. The owner of the team is the owner of the Browns. He can't do. Why can he do what he do? Why can he do? Why is he can't? You know what I'm saying? He had no dealings with Myles Garrett and Verse at all. But now he's getting involved in this whole Milwaukee thing. That's what I gotta say about it. But let's go around the horn. Rich, what you got for me, man? In your sports world, what's good for you?
My Niners are about to start winning this season. We about to get it in. My Red Sox, we Midland team. We poop. And I'm waiting on some good boxing. That's where I'm at.
Okay. Lou, what's going on, man? Lou, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are you going to the parade?
I wish I could, but it's over here. I wish I could, but I'll be watching it.
Okay. Curry.
Oh, you didn't get the good though.
Okay, go ahead, Lou. Give me the good. Give me your good.
Well, I don't know. I know you're not following starting the wrong, but the World Cup is going on, and the USA are talking like flying start. They'll play against Australia Party, and I think they're choosing the team win. And I think we're going to win the group.
Okay. They're saying they predicted to win the group. Curry, are you going to? How far is Raleigh from where you at?
2 hours. No, I'm not going to the parade.
You're not going to the parade. I got a question for you. I got a question for you about this. So, what was the weather like down there while they was playing hockey? Was it in the 80s, 90s?
What was the weather like?
Yeah.
We had it was hot.
So when in hockey, the weather, the degrees got to be what, 50 below or something like that? Inside?
No.
What's the weather like inside?
No, the ice, you mean? The ice just has to be frozen.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I know it's a little chilly in there. So when you leave out of there, you come out and you come into the sun again. I mean, just would anybody ever thought that we were talking about hockey in June? Wow.
Well, the thing is, it's not like you are playing. If you as a fan, you're not sitting in a refrigerator,
right?
That it's cold down there on the ice. But as far as where you at in the stands, man, it's not like that. It's not cold. It's not cold like that where you gotta be wearing coats or nothing.
Okay, I'm just saying. Everybody I see go to hockey up here. Right, they got on the jersey and they got something underneath the jersey and they got a hoodie on. Maybe because we're up north, you know what I'm saying. But so what's
that's true. If it's winter, because they're coming from the outside. But now you don't need all that, once you get indoors. Now hockey's a different. Hockey's a different sport, man. I got a lot of nothing but a lot of. Good for hockey players, man. The way they can fall down, get back up, and get bumped into the wall, man. After hits that them guys take, they throw you out the NFL for that crap.
Exactly.
But, them guys are tough. They tough. I like the way they go about their business. They fight, and then next thing you know, they go about their business, and they forget about it for now. But hockey is a different. I would venture to say them guys are pretty good golfers. The way they can move around with that.
The puck
and that stick.
Yeah. So what you got good for us?
And the eye coordination. They got to be good golfers.
Yeah. So what you got good for us, Curry?
Oh, I'm good. I'm telling you right now. It's got to happen before June 22nd is when the draft is. Mm-hmm. NBA draft. Giannis will be a Miami Heat. They got to get it done because they don't want to wait till after the draft because the 2026 first round pick does them no good. So they're gonna have to get something done before the draft. And so I feel like Giannis will be there, and I think he'll be happy to go to the Miami Heat with that no income state tax.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping you're right because I don't want him in Boston. I'm be honest with you. I do not want that man in Boston. He just I don't want him in Boston. I don't want him. I need Jaylen Brown to stay right there with Tatum and let's do this thing again. Let's work.
Yeah, you're saying that now, but wait till Giannis and Bam come to the Boston God and see what you have to say to him.
I mean, I'll be upset. I'll be upset about it, but that's competition for you. That's competition. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. I mean, and the thing about it, but Curry, the thing about it is he's in love with the coach though in Boston. He's like, I love the way he coaches. But again, I'm not giving up Jaylen Brown for no Giannis. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
I'm giving him up.
The age don't even match up at all. Would you say, Rich?
I'm selling. Oh, he's out of here. What are you talking about?
I'm not.
He can guard all 5 positions. He's 7 feet tall, and he's unguardable.
And he got bad wheels and bad knees.
He worked with Tatum on. I mean, listen to me. This is Giannis. This is like a unicorn coming to your team.
But the thing about it is, Curry, I mean, Rich, I'm going to say this to you. If he goes to the team, he can't work as hard as he worked in Milwaukee because he's defeating the purpose. And if you look at the trade that Curry, go ahead. Go ahead, Rich.
He's not going to have to. He's going to have Jason Tatum. He's going to have other players that can do stuff.
Are you talking about? You talking about going
to do everything in Milwaukee?
Right, but what I'm saying to you is that I just, man, look, I'm not sold on that. I don't want to do it.
Whether he's in Milwaukee, or I'm sorry, if he's in Boston, he knows he's not the number one. He knows that's Tatum's team, but he's definitely 1A. Like, you could give it to either one of them at any given point and turn the game around. I think Boston would be foolish if there was a deal on the table not to take it.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I just don't.
And they could send Jaylen Brown to Chicago.
No, he's not going to Chicago.
3-way trade. Let's get a third team involved.
From what I'm reading, there's a third team, right? In Atlanta's a team that's involved, and the Clippers were a team that's involved. If Jaylen were to be traded, I think he would probably want to go to Atlanta, because that's where he's from. You know what I'm saying? That he's going back home. He's going back home. But man, I'm telling you right now.
Is Lou still on the phone?
Yeah, Lou's here.
I'm still here. Hey, Lou. Yeah. I'm going down to Dallas in November for the game. You can meet me there.
Going where?
You got a good flight, yes.
You going where?
I'm going to Dallas in November.
To see Dallas play who?
The Niners.
Oh, is that for Thanksgiving or that another?
No, it's November 13th.
Oh, okay.
2 weeks before.
Okay.
Like, I went to San Francisco. My brother went out there in the hostile territory.
Go
to Dallas. Yeah, let's go. Meet me there.
Yeah, if y'all play that game, I hope it ends up a tie. Oh my goodness. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed you guys' company today. Man, Ray came on. It gave us, I'll tell you, man, 53 years, that's a long time. I'm gonna tell you right now, if as a Browns fan, right, if they would have won the Super Bowl, I'm gonna cry some tears. I'll tell you that right. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. I'm telling you that right now. I'm gonna try a river of tears because it's been so long and we've been through so much. But I don't know if that's ever gonna happen in my lifetime.
I was gonna say, Kev.
They got to get.
They got long dead before the Browns win the Super Bowl.
They got to get this thing right. They got to get this thing right because when I was a kid growing up, we had so many opportunities. We had so many opportunities and we blew them. We blew them. I mean, absolutely blew them when I was growing up as a kid. So.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But
I know how you feel, Kev, man. It's been a long time. I was 15 years old when the Dolphins won Super Bowl, and so but they've been to a few, but late after that. But hey, it's been a drought. Man. So it's gonna be party time if they win one within the next 3 or 4 years.
Exactly.
After that, I'll probably be too old to worry about it.
Exactly. All right, guys, man. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me, man. Again, I want to give a shout out to Mo. He's homesick. He has the flu. Hopefully, he'll feel better. Miss Parisi, one of the teachers that I work with at Downing School, is having some health issues. Hopefully, everything will turn out right for her when she does have her surgery, but she won't be back no time soon. Also, want to give a shout out to my coworker Tiara McQuay, who father passed away on Sunday. She took this is really hard for her and the family and the team of safety monitors. We all got together, signed the card for her and gave it to her, man. And she knows I'm here for her if she ever needs anything. That's what family's for. But again, losing a father and a mother is probably the hardest thing in the world to deal with, other than losing a child. And I've been down both roads 3 times, so it's just a rough pill to swallow. One thing I can say is keep your memories of them in your heart, and they'll make you smile every time you think about them. All right, guys, you guys have a good night, man. God bless and be safe.
Let's remember Alden Smith.
Oh yes, Alden Smith.
Oh yeah, R.I.P.
Yes, rest Alden Smith. Yeah, because they think he had a heart attack now. So keep his family in prayer as well. All right, guys, y'all have a good night, man.
Absolutely. Hey, be safe.
Thank you for listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show. You have been entertained in the sports world by K. Dix from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with a large heart, Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida, and Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. Remember, we throw stones and we do live in glass houses. Big time players make big time plays and big time games. Stay ready to be ready. You have been listening to an In the Zone Sports Talk Radio production. Remember, you can hear us again on star107fm.com on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to download the Try99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support.